G'day and welcome to Choosing Your Uni. I'm Rob Malicki, and today we're going to be talking about how to compare universities. So if you have one or two or three or four unis that you're interested in comparing, how do you actually make that decision about which one you're going to study at? And while we do that, we'll hopefully have that conversation, we're going to check out the world famous rainforest here outside Cairns. We're on the Skyrail heading from Cairns up to Kuranda in the hinterland. This is absolutely extraordinary countryside for you to come and check out. By the end of this video, you're going to have a framework that you can use to evaluate, to compare different universities, and that's going to help you make your decision on which university you should study at. Let's go get started.
How good is this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
What I want to talk about anyway was like the starting point for comparing universities. And before you can even compare universities, you really need to think about what is most important for you and what you want. Think about what those things might be. Is it the ranking of an institution? Do you really want to have the most amazing, unique Australian experience? Are you looking to create industry linkages, employability, graduate outcomes, making friends, clubs and societies? All of these things are things that you can use to rank and compare different institutions. What I've done actually is I've put together like a worksheet for you. You can download it in the description below, and it's just designed to help you decide what your priorities are, because lots of people can give you advice, but unless you actually know what's important to you, it's going to be very hard to compare institution by institution. So start by thinking about what is most important for you in your university experience.
Well, the best way to compare universities is by using first-hand information, and by that I mean trying to get in touch with people who really know an institution well. And I think what better way to do that than by tracking down some current students.
Now, each of the Australian universities has got many clubs and societies, Facebook groups, different ways that you can engage with the actual students who are studying there, and that's a fantastic place for you to get first-hand data. So if you're interested in chess, for example, why not join the Facebook group for the chess club, chess society, for the universities that you're interested in, because that's an opportunity for you to connect directly with students who are studying at that institution, to ask them what it's really like. Remember, when it comes to things like forums, Facebook groups and stuff like that, some of them are really good and objective, but sometimes you also run into groups where people just want to kind of point out the stuff that is negative and isn't really great. The thing that's critical to remember when you're looking at any information is to make your choices based on strengths, not based on weaknesses. And the reason I say that is that, let's take that example of a chess club. Let's say you are obsessed by chess and you're trying to choose between two different universities. The fact that one of those universities has got a kind of crappy library but an amazing chess club is important information for you, because if the other one's got like an awesome library and the chess club is no good, like, which one do you want to go to? You want to go to the one that aligns with the strengths that are most interesting to you. So always look at the strengths of the institutions and align yourself with those. Don't be swayed by negative commentary if it's in areas that's unimportant to you. If you don't care that a university has got like not the greatest on-campus food services, then don't care about that. Don't let that dissuade you from the good stuff, or paying attention to the good stuff that that university has.
The whole reason I created Choosing a Uni was that it occurred to me that I was probably one of the very few people in Australia that has literally visited every single institution. That knowledge that I was gaining would be really helpful to someone like you, someone who's trying to compare one institution with another. And that was the genesis of this whole project, to deliver independent, unbiased information about every university that allows you to directly compare one with another.
Now, there are different sources of data that you can use in order to compare universities once you've made your list of things that are important to you. One of the most useful is the Australian government's Compared website, compared.edu.au. The link is right here. And in there you'll find data that the Australian government has compiled, everything from like graduate outcomes, so starting salaries of graduates, student satisfaction, employer satisfaction on the various universities, sorted by discipline. So it really gives you an opportunity to dive deep into the different disciplines and identify the strengths and weaknesses of the universities you're interested in based on the things that are interesting to you. Other sources of data include things like the actual academic rankings of universities, and I've done a whole video about academic rankings which you can find right here. It's really important to be careful with rankings, because each of the different ranking schemes, whether it's QS or academic rankings of world unis, these guys all use different methodologies, so understanding what they have ranked as important when doing their ranking is very good for you to know, to make sure that aligns with what you're interested in. So understand what ranking is going to be best for you and then dive into the detail, because each of those rankings have got so much information underneath. You can look at the various academic disciplines, you can look at outcomes for students and all sorts of stuff. So check out some of those global rankings as well.
What are some of the other ways that you can compare different universities? Well, depending on which degree program you're going to be going into, one of the things you may want to look at is the subject of accreditation. Accreditation doesn't apply to all disciplines, but certainly some disciplines are accredited by professional bodies. Things like engineering or medicine, any of the health sciences, and even business are all accredited by semi-quasi-government bodies. And you want to make sure that the program that you're taking is accredited. So how to do that? Let's say you're an engineering student or you're keen to study engineering and you're looking to see if your particular degree program of interest is accredited. In this case, you'd be looking for Engineers Australia and looking on their website at the different institutions and degree programs that are accredited. So regardless of which discipline you're going into, you may want to just do some research about whether or not that discipline area has an accreditation, and if so, is the program you want to take accredited by the relevant accreditation body. One of the things that I think is so important when you go to university is taking part in extracurricular activities, or nowadays some unis call them co-curricular activities. Those are things like leadership programs, overseas study programs, volunteering, internships, these sorts of things. Universities are getting much, much better at offering these types of extra services to students, extra opportunities outside of academic classes, and it's a great way for you to get extra things on your resume while you're at uni. So you should be jumping on the university's website and finding out what they offer in terms of extracurricular activities. If you're currently in high school, you certainly want to go and talk to your careers counsellor at your school, because careers counsellors get so much information from the Australian universities. They get to visit Australian universities, they get to take part in different types of events and activities, they get sent information, so they have a really detailed knowledge of different institutions and programs that are available. So they're a great source of information that allow you to compare different institutions. If you're from overseas, you may consider going to speak with an education agent, and I have a whole video on education agent which you can find up above and down in the notes below. And education agents can give you a really good introduction to various institutions and the different programs that are on offer. So check out that detailed video.